Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. How are you guys today? I hope you're all well. We woke up this morning and there was an inch of snow on the ground, which really isn't too bad. So we just went for our walk, and gladly it wasn't too cold. So that was really nice to walk and not freeze in the morning. So I went out there and after we got back from our walk, I shoveled the inch of snow just to get a little exercise in, and it kind of felt good. So I am ready to share my card with you today. And if you follow me, you'll know that today is Casing Tuesday. And this was a thing that one of my team members started years ago. And I kind of jumped in the second year that she was doing it. And we started to share this kind of philosophy about casing cards. Casing stands for copy and share everything, but basically copying cards out of the catalog. Now we took it a step further, and that copying turned into kind of giving the cards a makeover too, because a lot of times we don't have every single stamp set in the catalog. I don't either, even though I am a demonstrator. It's not possible to own everything. I mean, perhaps it's possible to own everything, but is it possible to use everything? That is the question. So when a new catalog comes out, I choose my favorite things and I make them. But some of the cards in the catalog are really inspiring, and I might want to make a card, but I might not have the supplies for it. So that's basically what this challenge is that there is a card, and we all copy it and we all make it our own based on the supplies that we have. So that's kind of the fun thing about this challenge. And not only that, it's a great challenge because it gives everyone a starting point. So we don't have to figure out the layout. Actually, a lot of times the layout dictates which stamp set or bundle I choose, because certain stamp sets will lend themselves better to a certain layout. So it gives you a starting point for your card. So it's great for beginners. And then it's also great for people who have been around a while, for like me, because we have a team of people and everyone takes a turn choosing the card. So I love today's card, but sometimes the sketch is a little harder for me. And when it's harder, then I have to use my brain a little bit and figure out how to make the card work. It's kind of like a puzzle. Do you guys like doing puzzles? I love jigsaw puzzles and word puzzles and all of that. So I like to try and puzzle things out, like what little piece could I plug in here? So I look at all my supplies and decide what can I plug in for this shape, or what greeting can I use here? So it's kind of a game for me that I play on Tuesdays, and so I hope you will join us. We have a Facebook group for it, and it's open to everyone. All you have to do is ask to join, and then you can share your card with us, and then or you can look at the other people's cards. You don't have to share your card with us, but it's kind of a fun way to see how many different ways a card can be made over using the same starting point. Okay, I've done a lot of talking, so let's have a look at today's card. Here it is, and at first glance this card might, I didn't really notice it in the catalog, but I love the bones of this card, and it's a great way to use designer series paper. And I'll show you my card in a second, and we're going to make a slight tweak on the card that I make to share with you today, and then we can compare the two at the end and see which one we like better. So if you need kind of some guidance in terms of measurements, we have a little sketch for that. And you don't have to follow these measurements exactly. It's just kind of to give you an idea of what the building blocks for the card are. Okay, so let's unveil those. And I'm going to switch over to my other camera. Hopefully it's all turned on here. All right, so here is my card. Let me just move some things out of the way so we can see it more clearly. Here's my card today, and it's my first time using the Daffodil Daydream Bundle, and it's just so gorgeous. I love the little die-cut daffodil that I can make. And then on the inside, I actually stamped one of the daffodils too. So I'll be doing both of those just to show you. What else can I say about this? I use the Daffodil Afternoon paper, which is a Sale-a-bration paper, and you can earn that free with a $50 purchase. You can choose it. There's different items, and that's one of the ones you can choose. And this paper is just gorgeous. It is just got so many beautiful patterns. I'll show you in just a second. And then for the greeting, I use the Special Moments stamp set, which is also a Sale-a-bration item. And this one you can earn free with a $100 order. So with every $50 or $100 spent, you can choose a product. And the Special Moments stamp set has a lot of great greetings in it, and I use the happy birthday on the inside as well, because the Daffodil Daydream Bundle has a Happy Mother's Day greeting and Easter blessings, and I still need birthday cards, so I wanted to turn this into a birthday card. So, but you know, we do think about daffodils a lot for Easter, so that's perfect, and for Mother's Day as well. So you've got those greetings in there if you want to create that type of a card. But this one is a nice filler stamp set that has a other kind of really nice little greetings in here. Just very, very uplifting greetings, I guess is what I would call them. All right, and then the other thing I used was the ornate, I think they're called ornate frames. Yes, ornate frames dies to create this little shape right here. You can use whatever shape fits your greeting. I liked this little shape. I thought that was kind of cute with the arc. Okay, let's just pull out real quick while I'm here. Run over and grab my Daffodil Afternoon paper. This paper is so pretty. Okay, this is the one that I used, and it has like a kind of a crushed curry back to it. And then look at this one. That one's just so pretty too. I was debating whether or not to use this one, but then I thought, I'll use this one because I rarely do black on cards, so I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone. And then we've kind of got a checked background on this side. Actually, I'm kind of glad that I don't like this pattern as much as this pattern, because I think I would use a lot of this pattern. And then if this had a really nice pattern on the back, I'd be kind of sad to use it. Look at this one. You can just cut it in half, and then you can create these really nice panels for cards. It's a really nice one. And this one's kind of just like a green pattern. Look, those are like little green hearts on the back. And then this is just a page of beautiful daffodils. And then here's one more pattern that we haven't seen yet. This is just kind of crushed curry background, and these little white, those are little daffodils. And then just kind of a nice black with a little cross on it in the background. And then I already showed you this one. So this pattern, the Sale-a-bration paper, is only available until the end of February, and after that point, it will no longer be available because it's a special paper. So if you're planning on getting this bundle, then I would suggest trying to earn the paper while it's still around. Okay, so let's get started. And I think first of all, we're going to create this daffodil right here. So let me show you how you do that. And I'm going to use like a strip of Daffodil Delight and a strip of crushed curry. Two different yellows. And I still got things from my last workshop. Let me just move those out of the way. All right, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, base platform number 1, then die adapter number 2. And if I can grab these two pieces, I can move it into my machine, my area a little bit better. Then we're going to have number 3. I think this one, I always like to choose the flatter of the two clear plates, and then we're going to put down these two pieces. And the nice thing about this die set is that it's got two of the pieces that we need to make the flower. So we're going to need two of these, and we're going to do these in the Daffodil Delight cardstock, and then we're going to need two of these, and we're going to do that in the crushed curry. And then we're going to need the detail of the daffodil bell in crushed curry, and then the base is going to be in Daffodil Delight. So I think that's all the pieces that I need for now, and let me just run that through. Okay. And so we've got these pieces. They look like spiders. And then this bell piece. And then make sure I move my dies so that they are, sometimes I just kind of drop these and then it loosens the paper off the back. The other thing is they have these little pokey holes, so you can also release like that if they don't come out easily. All right, let me pick up all these dies so that I don't lose them. All right, okay, so we've got these shapes right here, and this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab all of these shapes and just jump them off to the side for a second. And I want to cut one more shape. I'm going to cut the label that I need. Where are you? This one. Because sometimes I stamp and then cut my label, but I'm actually going to cut and then stamp for this one. So I'm just going to grab that, and this is just basic white cardstock that I'm using. To cut that little label for my greeting. Okay, I think I have done all my die cutting. So let's grab all of these pieces here, kind of put them out. So we've got these pieces, this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. We're going to need some glue. So for these ones, you're just going to kind of match it up. I think that looks pretty good. You just want to make sure that these pieces kind of match onto here. And then this one will match onto here. All right, so I just take some Tombow and I'll just put a little bit on the back of here, and then I'm just matching it up, and I'll do the same for this one, and match it up, and then this one, I'm just building my little daffodil. And I didn't add a stem to this daffodil because I felt with the paper color that it just wasn't showing it. Anyway, I did cut a stem, but I pretty much figured there was enough lines and stuff coming down this way that the stem just didn't really add anything to the card, so I decided just to make the daffodil head. So I'm just gonna kind of put this together, just overlapping these two pieces. Just give it a second to kind of come together. And then for the bell of the flower, I'm calling it the bell, I'm not sure if that's the true name of it. I want to just add that with one dimensional. And you can kind of just play around with it and decide where does that look kind of the best. I play little mind games with myself all the time in terms of, I think I kind of like it. I think I kind of like it right there. Okay. I like to have things look a certain way, so you know, I keep twisting it around. Which way does it look better? Okay, so there is my little daffodil head. And now we've got our little greeting. And we'll just take this greeting. And it says, for someone who is wonderful in each and every way, if you make the outside of this card, then you can put whatever greeting you want on the inside afterwards. Okay. All right. So then we want to build this piece right here. And let me just measure this. So I've got a piece of basic black, and that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then I cut this piece right here to 3 inches by 4.5 inches. So for this card here, I cut the paper in equal strips. So they're each 1 inch wide. But in the original card, they actually did them in different widths. So this one was 1 1/8, this one was 1 inch, and then this one was 7/8. So I thought for comparison's sake, we would cut them a little differently this time and cut them according to how the original card was. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and we'll take this piece of paper, we'll line it up at the 1 1/8 inch mark and cut it. And then this one will line up at the inch mark and cut it. And then this last piece is going to be 7/8 of an inch. So we're going to do this. All right, so we're going to see at the end what we like better. So to arrange these, and just kind of arrange them on here so that they look evenly spaced. All right, that looks good. And then I'm going to kick out that middle strip and try not to move these guys. And then we're going to adhere down the middle strip first, and then we'll put the other strips around it. All right. We'll see if it makes any difference. I don't know if it's going to make too much difference in this background because it's such a dark background. There's not a lot of contrast, so I don't know if having the paper strips on this card will matter as much as maybe if I had a different contrasting background where you could see, like maybe if I did white, you would really notice. It's almost like grout of tile. You would notice the contrast a little bit more. Some people like contrasting grout and some people like matching grout. And I'm kind of doing the matching look here. Okay, so there's the little panels. Don't they look pretty? And you know, one thing that I like about using just a 3 inch wide piece of paper is that you can get more cards out of one sheet of 12 by 12. So, because if you were to cut this the full length, you'd have an extra, you'd be probably about 3 3/8 inches wide, versus I just used a 3-inch wide piece of paper. So now I can glue this onto a Daffodil Delight card base, and this one is kind of a tent fold, so it's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I scored in half at the 5.5 inch mark. Let me just press that down so it's flat. And simply I will center this in the middle of my cardstock here. So many products in this I'm using today start with Daffodil. I'm using Daffodil Delight cardstock and Daffodil afternoon paper. All right, so now I'm going to arrange this. I've got my little greeting right here, so I need to decide where to put that. We've got the flower, and then earlier I tied a ribbon. Look at this beautiful ribbon. It's very soft. Let me grab my roll here so I can tell you the name of it. It is Evening Evergreen, but it's so dark it almost looks black, so you can use it if you want for black purposes. It's window pane check ribbon. It's kind of neat. I haven't seen ribbon like that before with these little kind of rectangular checks. So it's kind of a pretty ribbon, a little bit different. And I'm going to add that to right there. So I just kind of want to arrange it and decide where I want everything to go. I think that looks pretty good. So I'll just scoot those away and then add this piece, and I'm hanging this off the edge just a little bit. I'm trying to maybe do it even with my other cards so that we can do a good comparison afterwards. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then I just glued this on here. That. And then this piece, you can use a mini glue dot, but this is a pretty big bow, so I suggest using some tear and tape, and I put tear and tape on the back loops, and that gives it a little bit more space to adhere to your card rather than just a spindly little glue dot. So you can just see I put tear and tape on those back loops, and now I'm just going to remove it. Usually with this, one side works better than the other. Come on. There we go. Just trying to remove the backing. There we go. All right, and then I'll just add that down here. Okay. So there we have our two cards. And before we do that comparison, let's go ahead and stamp the inside of the card. And so I have a piece of basic white here. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I need a little scrap piece of paper. I used this one before. And I want to, let's open this card here. I want to kind of stamp my daffodils a little bit to the, this way is better. All right, I want to stamp them kind of coming off the side of the card right here. So let's take the ink and tap this all over. And then just kind of bring this over to the side. I think that's good. All right, and then I want to add the happy birthday. Well, I'll have my ink out, and this is from that Special Moment stamp set. And I'm just going to nest this right in here, like that. All right, and then I'm going to grab some Stampin' Blends. And the colors in here are Mossy Meadow and Evening Evergreen, but there's also kind of a lighter green, and so it's not listed. I don't think this color is listed on the paper pack, but I decided I'd use Old Olive because Mossy and Evergreen are very dark colors, and I wanted to be able to show the colors a little bit better. So I'm going to start off by coloring my daffodils, and I'm just going to squiggle all over my daffodils. Let's see if I can do justice with my brush tip. I think I'm going to have to use my bullet tip. I have a replacement Daffodil Delight light blend sitting ready to go, but there's still just a little bit of ink left in this. I have not replaced my daffodil yet, so I've been using it a good long time. The blends are pretty good. They are pretty juicy and last a long time. Okay, I'm coming in here, and then this is a little bulb right here. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my Daffodil Delight Dark, and I'm going to hit all these little lines. I know this looks very inelegant right now, but I'm actually kind of being a little sloppy. I'm not really being very precise. That's okay. Come back to the little edges a little bit. And then I'm going to blend a little bit with my light. All right, so I've got my light, and now I'm going to blend so that the lines aren't as pronounced. Blendy, blendy, blendy. Little swirlies. But I've added those dark highlights, and if you look closely, you'll be able to see the dark highlights, but you won't see the lines that I previously drew because they're going to be obliterated by my blending. All right. So you can kind of just see I've got some darks and lights in there. And then I'll come in with my Old Olive, and this is the light, and I'm just going to come in here and kind of follow the stems up. I like coloring. It's kind of relaxing. Okay. And then you can take your dark and kind of just do a little shading. Kind of maybe on the underside of the and I don't think I need to blend that because it kind of just blended nicely on its own. So that is just the way that I would color that. And then I can just adhere this to the inside of the card. And you notice the Stampin' Blends, they do bleed through, but I'm adhering this to cardstock so you won't see the bleed through. Make sure it's the right way around. Good. Don't want to glue this on the wrong side. All right, so there's the inside of the card, and here's the outside. So we can barely even tell the difference between the different widths of the paper that I cut, right? Because of the black background. So for this card, for my particular card and my particular paper, I don't think it makes that much difference. So if it's easier to cut the strips into 1-inch widths for you, then go for that. Or if you want kind of like that cascade effect of different widths, or maybe you're using up scraps of paper and then it might be good to have different widths, then you could do that as well. So there is my card for today. And before I go, I just want to mention that I do have a host code this month, and I'll switch over here. And this is my host code gift for the month. It's the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Here is the host code to use. You need to spend $50. So it's kind of a great deal right now. If you spend $50, you get a Sale-a-bration reward, and you get my host code reward if you use the host code. If you have a larger order over $150 or over $100, then if it's over $150, I want you to get your own Stampin' rewards. If your order is close to $100 though, you might want to get the starter kit, because the starter kit is a great deal because it's $99, and then you get to choose $125 worth of product, plus you get 2 free stamp sets of your choice to add to that starter kit. So that's really always the best deals, to get the starter kit. But you know, if you're kind of getting close to the $100 mark, then you might want to think about transitioning over to getting that. What else did I want to, I do have a tutorial that you can earn free with a purchase. Your total just needs to be over $15. So, but any size order will qualify for the tutorial, just as long as it's over $15. And I have a candy envelope tutorial. That's my new tutorial for the month. But I also have over 80 other tutorials to choose from. So there's a big list of free tutorials to choose with your order. I have a complete supply list for this this card over on my blog, and you just need to click over to get that link. I'll also have clickable links down below too if you don't want to pop all the way over to my blog. Alright guys, let's say hello to all of you. Good morning, Cindy from Everett. Good morning, Dee from Missouri. And Janine says she's deep frozen in Indiana. Oh, I'm sorry about that. We did not get your snow, Janine. Not yet. I feel like Boston really gets most of its snow in February and March, so I'm just bracing for it. We have like one more week of January, and we always think we get through January and we're off the hook for snow, but oh no, it's coming. Winter's coming. All right. Janine says, I'll be happy to take a bow for picking this card. I loved it too. Oh yes, so Janine is part of our group that does the Casing Tuesday every week, and it was her selection for this particular card. I really enjoyed it a lot. Well, thank you, Janine. It was kind of a sleeper card actually, because it was so kind of hidden in the catalog, but I really like the layout of it. Good morning, Amy. Oh, and you're in frozen, snowy Washington State. Ugh, I'm sorry. Spring is around the corner. I'm sure you're going to get spring before us, because in the East, I think winter just lingers a lot longer than it does in the West. Janine says she loves the greeting set. I do too. I've used it a lot lately. This one right here, this is the Sale-a-bration set, the special moments. It's got a lot of great greetings in it. Good morning, Betty in Oregon, and thank you for sharing, Betty. You're so sweet. Good morning, Ellie. and her computer is not showing this. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I think you got on, so that's good. Dee says the daffodil perks up these wintry mornings with the hope of spring flowers. That's so poetic, Dee. I love it. Yes, and I agree. I kind of felt like uplifted when I was working with the daffodils yesterday. Good morning, Karen, and you're not late. Well, you can watch the beginning over, but I'm glad you're here. Um, and Betty says, yes, adhere that middle strip first, arrange it, and then adhere the other ones because that way you can make sure you have enough room for everything. Janine loves the daffodil paper, and so do I. Betty says she just ordered this bundle and paper for her celebration item. Awesome. I'm sure you're going to love it. Betty says her birthday is in March and daffodils are the birth flower for March. Oh, that's cool. You know, when we lived, right now I live in Boston, but we lived in Tennessee for 12 years. And we lived in a neighborhood where there was a lake and there was a trail around it. And as you know me, if you know me at all, you know I've been an avid walker for a very long time. And so every February there was this big patch of daffodils. And I think those bulbs divided and they just grew bigger and bigger each year. And around the lake, that was kind of my first sign of spring, is when those daffodils, the greens would start to creep up. And I'd like every day I'd look, is there a daffodil head out yet? And so actually in Tennessee, you'll see the daffodils will be coming out in February already. But that's Tennessee, that's closer to the south. So most of us will not see daffodils until even later than March. But March is probably a good month to designate as the daffodil month because it was, if I remember correctly, it was closer to the end of February that I saw those daffodils there coming out of the woods. It was so fun to see. Actually, I should post this, but we got a photo of, we had a Sheltie at the time and her name was Bella. And I got a photo with her surrounded by the daffodils. It was just like gorgeous. She's just so sweet. Actually, if you want to hang on for a moment, I'll go grab my daffodil photo. I actually have one if you want to see it of the beautiful daffodils. Just give me 1 second. All right, I know you guys are making you wait for stuff, but this was our Sheltie Bella, and these were the daffodils that came out right by the lake, and I got her to kind of lie down, and then my friend actually did this canvas for me she took one of my photos and turned it into a canvas, so I had it. Bella was a real sweet pup and I miss her a lot, but those were the daffodils. It's kind of fun, right? So daffodils are just really wonderful little flowers. Okay, let's just keep going. I digressed a lot. Don't get me talking about things like daffodils. Betty said, of course she wants to see the photo. Oh, good. I'm so glad you love the photo. Dee says, sweet picture of Bella and the daffodils. Yeah, she was a sweet pup. She was like my walking partner and motivator and all of that. And she was also a little social butterfly. She would, like, if we were walking and there was someone behind us and she thought she knew them, she would sit down and I'd have to wait until that person caught up so that we could say hello to them, because she wanted to make sure, you know, we said hello to everyone along the lake. And she was like the little lake ambassador dog. She was very, very sweet. We had so much fun together. I did when she was a pup. We did obedience together, obedience class. I learned a lot about training her, and it was lots of fun. Okay, I really now have digressed. Um, I'm so glad that you love the photo. And Janine says Bella looks so much like her dog Elliot. So I know Janine, she's on my team, and Janine also had a Sheltie. So that's kind of fun that we share that in common. So I'm glad Bella looked like Elliot. They're such sweet dogs. And Lynn says she likes the picture, and that's good memories. Well, guys, I'm so glad you stuck with me to the bitter end here, and I hope you have a great day. And maybe you'll make some daffodil cards today, who knows, or get the daffodil bundle in your future. And I just want to say I will be back on Friday. I'm going live on YouTube and at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I haven't decided what I'm going to make yet. I'll have to design it either Wednesday or Thursday. It will either be a fancy fold card or a 3D thing, and I'm sure it will be great. So you'll just have to wait till Friday to find out what I have designed for you. All right, have a great week until then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.